I've started the recording. So, this is the
I
second
am.
episode of what we were doing, explaining all of them. In the last episode, we explained up to the first Doctor, played by William Hartnell. So, in this episode, we are going to be beginning on the Inferno Earth second Doctor and then going on to the second Doctor.
The doctor actually manages to escape their execution by killing themselves, and then he gets shot in the face.
At one point, they had an affair.
He also shot an Ogron. He just shot people.
Trying
And
to
he
portray an
yells, "Murderer!"
villain, murderer. Lenny Henry show.
Lenny, Henny. Who the fuck? There he goes, "Unlimited rice pudding!"
Unlimited rice pudding.
It's him! It's him! He's here!
So, first was on the Inferno of Second Doctor. I assume you know what that is. More than I do.
Yes, I do. In fact, it is a reference to the Inferno story from the Third Doctor era, where the Third Doctor travels to another universe. The leader there, who is the head of Britain, is specified, well, not hinted at, to be the Doctor in an alternate timeline where Britain became fascist and
Mm-hmm.
the Second Doctor became evil and became the leader. So it is theorize that that is the doctor and not actually the leader.
Okay. That's quite cool. Since is this the first time we see an alternate version of the Doctor in the series?
Technically, yes, there was an android and I believe the Dalek's master plan, but that didn't really count.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. So I guess this is the first time we see an alternate universe version, and it's funny he's the president of Great Britain. That's an interesting title, considering Great Britain does not have presidents. So we have prime ministers, but sure.
Yeah, and of course, again, this is a fascist version of the Earth,
So then it makes
and well,
sense. All right. I guess since I said you can do the main incarnation of the Doctor, we are straight on to the second Doctor. So take it away again.
Second Doctor, played by Patrick Troughton, later voiced in Big Finish audio stories by Michael Troughton and other various actors. Michael Troughton being Patrick Troughton's son. He was a very new take on the Doctor, especially for the time. He was a bit more zany. He acted a fool, but really he was hyper intelligent. He sort of displayed some behaviors that Seven would later adopt: plotting, planning, making people believe he wasn't as smart as he was. And he was forced to regenerate in the story The War Games after he foiled the war chief, the war lord, and the security chief's plans to create an army that would conquer the galaxy, uh, using human soldiers to sort of train over their tactics. Uh, he
Mm-hmm.
hold on. Uh, There's also season 6B, where the Celestial Intervention Agency, or the CIA for short, of the Time Lords intervened in his execution and used him as an agent to further their own agenda on several planets. He traveled with Jamie mostly, that's the one he's famous for. He had Zoe, he also had a few of the first Doctor companions, but they moved on quickly, and we mostly got Jamie. He was also the introduction of the Ice Warriors and was the second Doctor to encounter the Cybermen a lot. He also dealt with he really did deal more with Cybermen than anything else. And he's a very interesting Doctor because, like Hartnell, most of his stories are in fact missing.
Yeah. He did also meet the Great Intelligence at one point, isn't it? Like a long time before. Um, we end up seeing him with
Yes.
the
He
11th
also
Doctor.
met the Sixth Doctor. He also met the
Okay.
Sixth Doctor
Yeah.
in the Two Doctors.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get more into the Sixth Doctor later.
Yeah. So, another thing, a lot of the new doctors did take some form of inspiration from him. Like, for example, Matt Smith's 11th Doctor was said he took a lot of inspiration from Troughton's portrayal. So, yeah, that's quite cool as well. Okay, then we get on to the previous Doctor from Exile. Previous.
Okay, so that is an unbound audio story by Big Finish where the Doctor actually manages to escape their execution by killing themselves
Okay.
and hides out as a female doctor working, I
Yeah.
think, either as a clerk or something, and also
Mm-hmm.
drinking a lot.
Yeah.
And in this story, when they drank a lot, they would ramble on about adventures they had. And this doctor does appear as a ghost sometimes when they're drinking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's an audio story for sure.
Yeah. Is this the first time we saw a female incarnation of the Doctor, or because I know this is pre
Yes, I
13?
believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When was this released? Like, does it say this?
Um, it was definitely before 13, but I can't remember.
Was it before Curse of Fatal Death? That's gonna be coming later as well.
Oh
That
boy.
that's amazing
I
though.
don't. It was available in October 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Curse of Fatal Death was 1999
Okay.
with Rowan Atkinson as as the doctor.
Uh, fair enough.
Mr. Bean.
And that's how when we get to the Doctor who worked at Sainsbury's, which is from there too. Yeah.
Yes, it's a female doctor who got drunk.
And that's what is going on, isn't it? Then we get Dr. Oho.
Here's one story. It's sort of a pastiche of the Doctor, and Peter Cushing, and the celebrity status of the Second Doctor in the comics. So it's sort of a mix of those two into one being. Like the Peter Cushing Doctor, sort of reflecting his life, and the Second Doctor's celebrity status in at least the Second Doctor comics.
Yeah.
He's
Hmm.
an Irish Wildthyme thing, which that's a
Okay.
whole
You
like
know what?
other
Speaking of, since she's right
mess.
here, I might as well talk about her since
Oh God.
I did some research on her in my own time, mainly because a lot of people were theorizing that that's one of the identities of Mrs. Flood at the end. There's a lot of different stuff for her, but Iris is one of the theories because think about so basically Iris is well her origin is kind of conflated. She's technically a crossover character, but been in more Doctor Who stories than her own stories. She was made by a author, I forgot the name, but pretty much she crossed over into Doctor Who, and then Doctor Who made her into a Time Lord. She was originally just a quote unquote lesbian time traveler. When well, I mean I don't know that age quite well considering what I'm going to imply later. But she took many travels with the Doctor. She first meets the Doctor in a short story where apparently the Doctor already knows who she is from a previous event which we don't know about. And the fourth Doctor is the one that she meets in specific. Her TARDIS looks like a bus. It's called the Celestial Omnibus. And her incarnations, like her regenerations, tend to resemble a lot of the television and film actresses that are shown, for example, in these images here. So yeah, she is a extended universe only character. She does not appear in the show as of right now, purely because well, there's a bunch of rights stuff, and she's technically not owned fully by Doctor Who. But maybe we could see her if the thing that people are saying about Mrs. Fuller is true. Who knows at this point? So
Yes,
yeah,
and Miss Flood could also potentially be the White Guardian or the Black Guardian, or
yeah.
who knows. We're getting a
um,
lot of returning villains So maybe.
Yeah. There is some other things about Iris that I did want to bring up. Well, one thing is that in one story, her and the Doctor imply that at one point they had an affair, so that's a very interesting thing that happened. So yeah, and I don't know why she is on here as the incarnation of the Doctor. She's not connected to anything, and nothing that I know of her implies that she is the Doctor. She's just another Time Lord. So I personally think that she's another Time Lord, but she's a very interesting character overall. Yeah, that's pretty much
Yes.
it.
I'm already too deep into Doctor Who. I can't afford Iris Wildthyme or
Fair
Wildthyme,
enough.
whatever.
That's fair enough. Okay. Did we do Captain Jerry Cornelius? I forgot if we did that one.
That was the guy who was the Coming of the Terror Files character.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me go into that. That's fair. Which is implied to come from the Eternal Champion thing from above. So, fair enough. We covered that in the last episode, by the way. So we have a second and a half Doctor from this uh fan piece of content. Okay, so apparently this was a bonus feature on the DVD release of the War Games. If you guys don't know, the War Games is the serial in which the second Doctor regenerated. Well, he was uh like exiled by the Time Lords to Earth um because of a whole bunch of stuff he did. And we see his regeneration. I mean, we don't fully see his regeneration. We see the different faces he could turn into, but we don't see when he regenerates fully. So because of that, there's a whole bunch of theories, but obviously, this is one of the incarnations that could have happened. The so-called second and a half Doctor. um,
And
I've not
as we can
seen.
see, he was used in the 40th anniversary audio drama Zagreus.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not too familiar. I haven't seen the. I mean, I've seen the War Games, but I haven't seen the Devious. So yeah. So I guess we have 7 keys to Doomsday, which is something that's apparently both from these doctors. So, are you familiar with 7 keys to Doomsday? Because it's an audio story.
I believe it was a stage play. Yes, that's right. It
Oh,
was a
stage play.
stage play.
Mm-hmm. And this is apparently a different version of the Doctor that was created. When was this made? Oh, 2008. Oh, interesting. So, I guess this is when this is on previous Doctors from there. So I guess there's a bunch of previous Doctors who this could have been. I think it's an alternate universe version of the Doctor, obviously, because well, John Pertwee's Doctor, as we know, regenerates into the Tom Baker's Doctor. So I'm not really sure if that's a very valid thing. I mean, in terms of the main universe, so I'm gonna count it as an alternate universe. I'm not too familiar with this either, but yeah, it's apparently um a oh okay, it's a adaptation of Doctor Who and the Daleks in 7 Days to Doomsday, which was okay. So it was a play that ran in the transition period between John Pertwee and Tom Baker, and because of this, they could have done a whole bunch of different incarnations of the Doctor before they had Tom Baker's Doctor, and that's why we have Trevor Martin playing this version of the Doctor. Then we move on here. We have Third Doctor from Dead on Arrival. Okay. Obviously the wiki does not have the plot, so as always, I have not read this comic myself, but I guess since it's talking about an
I
alternate
haven't either.
Earth, I would assume they're talking about the alternate version of the Third Doctor, and from this. So, a version of the Third Doctor existed on an alternate Earth that the Joe Grant of N Space was once accidentally sent to. After mourning the death of his own version of Joe, not knowing that she was in fact in a coma due to the N Space Joe's arrival causing her life force to disappear, he returned to Unit HQ, where he detected a hole in the space time continuum and somebody on the other side trying to get through. Unaware that this was his End-Space counterpart, he fell into the same coma as Joe when the End-Space Doctor managed to break through to retrieve his Joe, and awoke after the two managed to return to End-Space and return their life forces. So, yeah. I guess it's pretty much just an alternate universe version of the Third Doctor. Well, we've spoken about alternate versions of the Third Doctor, but how about we actually talk about the Third Doctor?
John Pertwee, also known as the superhero doctor because he usually wore a cape and such. He had the first introduction of the Sea Devils, the I forgot their name, but they're cousins of the Sea Devils. He had the first introduction of the Master.
Yes.
He fought the
Delgado's master.
Autons.
Mm-hmm.
He
What?
the mustard.
Oh no, I need to add like a picture of that GIF on the screen that comes up right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do that.
He was befriended Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, even though he met him earlier as the second Doctor. He was
Yes.
reunited with him, and after a unit formed, he fought conspiracies. He fought spiders. He fought chronovores.
Yes, Kronos. I remember that
He
episode. That episode's really cool. With Kronos in it.
yeah, the episode where he's like the biggest, baddest guy from the 575th dimension.
And
And
then
then it's a dude in a paper costume.
Chronovores, time eaters, will swallow a life as quickly as a boa constrictor can swallow a rabbit. Fur and all.
Are you saying that Kronos is one of these creatures?
I am the most fearsome of the lot.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
He met the Zygons as well.
Oh yeah.
He was
And
the first
that plot
Doctor of the
continues.
Zygons.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced a lot of like original, now famous creatures, including the Sontarans.
Yes.
I don't think he ever fought the Cybermen. He did fight the Daleks, but I don't think he ever encountered the Cybermen in the TV show.
Okay.
He eventually regenerated into Tom Baker, aka the Fourth Doctor, after stealing a crystal way back in like his first or second season, and then that came back to bite him in his series, his run's finale, Planet of the Spiders, where he had to return that crystal, or a bunch of spiders controlled by the Great One would destroy Earth. Yeah. He's the first Doctor to travel to an alternate universe. He had Invasion of the Dinosaurs. If I could remember that species name that he fought in his one of his first serials. Hold on.
Uh,
um. Well, he did also introduce Peladon and the Silurians. That's what I was thinking of.
okay.
Uh, he had the mutants, the Time Monster, the Time Warrior, Death to the Daleks.
Yes.
The Master several times. He fought the Daemons. He had the three Doctors under his belt.
Oh yes, the Three Doctors. Was that the first multi-Doctor storyline?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
So he
was
also introduced
a
that.
10th anniversary special with him, William
Mm-hmm.
Hartnell, and also Patrick Troughton,
Yeah.
all playing doctors to fight Omega, one of the original three who founded Gallifrey.
Yeah.
Which actually, that story was supposed to be something called Death World, where they fought death itself. And that has been adapted by Big Finish
All right.
as the new Lost Audio story,
Yeah.
Death World.
And a little note if you
Haven't
guys
given
didn't
it a
get
listen
it.
yet.
In the Rings of Acton speech that Eleven gives to Acton, when he says the line, "I walked in universes where the laws of physics were created by a madman," it's implied he was talking about Omega's antimatter universe. Like, so yeah, when he was saying that. Um,
Yes.
he obviously, the Third Doctor, he was also well known for Venusian Aikido, or karate, whatever you call it. He used it a lot in his run. He also had a sword fight with the Master, which is a really cool scene. Yeah.
He also shot an Ogron. He just shot people.
Yeah.
Like,
I think this is
the
when
Third Doctor just did not care.
Yeah, this is when Doctor decided to fully get its like footing properly. Like obviously the other two were good. A lot of them are lost though, but for a complete series that you have, which introduced a lot of things which are used nowadays as well, the Third Doctor definitely did a lot of those things. So
He
yeah.
did a lot of killing. Like, he shot several Ogrons. He probably killed a few people with a Venusian Aikido. He made a Sea
Yeah.
Devil walk into some landmines.
There's a whole video which is called "The Doctor is Gonna Bust a Cap in Your Ass," which is a very nice video, showing the many times the Doctor has just straight up killed people. I'll probably link it in the description or something so you can go watch that.
The second Doctor had these giant, like,
Yeah, I've
radar
seen
dish
that.
things.
The
And he
radars.
was shooting the Ice Warriors with them.
Jesus
It was great.
Christ. Man, I remember all of that. Oh my god. Okay. Then, the Third Doctor has pretty much not really any connections, but he,
Connections, not as much as everyone else.
I mean, he's got over here the Greenpeace Doctor we actually missed. We can talk about that. I suppose we found that last
Yes,
episode.
that was a doctor who only exists because John Pertwee got sick while trying to do play.
Mention this
Yes.
one. So it's a
Yes.
whole different version of the Doctor that was created just because John Pertwee happened to be sick. Yeah, it says here. So
Yes.
his understudy
So it was
David
his-
Banks was who filled in as the Doctor, and because of his shirt, like which is a Greenpeace shirt, people call him the Greenpeace Doctor. So
Everyone
yeah.
called him the Greenpeace Doctor because he was wearing the Greenpeace T-shirt.
Yep.
Greenpeace actually comes up a lot in the extended media.
Yeah, wait, this
Like,
iteration
it's
or
kind
like
of surprising.
just Greenpeace?
Just Greenpeace, like straight up Greenpeace.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like in one of the first Eighth Doctor novels, Vampire Science, he just drops Sam off at a Greenpeace rally. We'll get more into Eighth Doctor later.
Oh my god.
He's-
Listen, I'll just give you guys look at this. We will have to do this. Please donate 10 air bubbles. I'm joking. I'm not asking for money, but just look at this, fam. Do you see what we're gonna have to do later?
Donate 5 bottles of Hennessy so we can get through that.
Yes. Alright, the
Joking.
Doctor
Don't
of-
drink, kids.
Yes, the Doctor of Who's Who Earth. Did we do that? That's not a article. Amazing. Or maybe just Who's Who. I mean, Who's Who shows up. Okay.
Oh, it's this one. It
I
was
remember
Captain
seeing
Pugwash, that's right.
Yeah. So after the
Yeah.
first Doctor landed his TARDIS on the deck of Captain Pugwash's ship, Pugwash consulted his Who's Who and informed the Doctor that he was in the wrong place, the wrong century, and he was even on the wrong page of Radio Times. So, yeah, Captain Pugwash is captain of a pirate ship, and I guess this is a different version of the Doctor who had landed there. Despite saying it's the first Doctor, I think it's because he materialized in the wrong area. So, and apparently it's saying that this is the same as Doctor Who from Peter Cushing. Alright. I mean, any type of fictional Doctor is generally counted as could be Doctor Who as well, because Doctor Who is propaganda in his own verse, so yeah, that's what that is.
He's unit propaganda.
Okay. The other third Doctor link we have is the Doctor from Pash...
The Web of K.
The Web of
Pastiche.
K. Pastiche, okay. So, this is an unknown incarnation of the Doctor who once landed on a planet where one of the inhabitants arranged with him beforehand exactly when and how he would attempt to take over the planet. Sure, I mean, I guess he kind of looks like the Third Doctor, like a younger version.
It's Mark Gatiss.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of him doing an impression.
Fair enough. That makes sense then. Because you have so many versions like this, and you've also got, And I guess if you want to watch this, you can.
Maybe. Who knows?
And yeah, I said it's an impression of the Third Doctor in another Doctor. Now I guess we have.
Did.
Yeah, we've done that. Never mind. I'm just gonna cut that part off.
And then there's a New Zealand version of the play, which I mean, it's
Which
just,
is apparently a
it's
different
same
version. All of these are just different versions because it's different actors. That's the only reason. It's because different actors.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Yeah,
it's
it's
time
kinda...
for the arguably most iconic Doctor we've got. Yeah.
Most iconic classic Doctor.
Yeah.
Fourth Doctor, played by Tom Baker. He did the Genesis of the Daleks, which introduced Davros into the canon, which then later spun off into the fantastic audio series I, Davros by Big Finish. He's the most iconic Doctor. He had K9, Leela, Romana. He visited Gallifrey. He fought the Master again. This time,
the
burned
Tremas
corpse.
Master. What's he called? No.
No, he turned into the Tremas Master.
Okay,
Burnt Toast Master was
right.
like the first one he encountered.
Okay.
We'll call him Burnt Toast.
Yes.
Deep Fried. Deep Fried Master.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Crispy. We'll call him Crispy.
Crispy Master. I'll just put a picture of him up on the screen. You can see what that is.
Yeah. He fought the Santarans again. He killed people as well.
There's a scene where he just snaps some guy's neck. Like casually.
Yeah, he encountered
Sutek.
He fought the Daleks.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, he also fought Sutek.
Yes.
He oh god. He fought the Daleks. He did fight the Cybermen. They were finally returned. He fought the Santarans. I think he fought the Zygons. Debuted in the Terror of the Zygons. I was wrong. I lied. I'm sorry.
That's cool. He also acquired the key to time. That's he did the key to time thing.
Yeah, and he met the Black and White Guardian.
Yep. Which is
who may be returning, who knows.
Yes. And maybe if they do, we could see the Doctor as one of his other roles we will cover later as, the Red Guardian. But, maybe.
Yes, the Red Guardian. Maybe. When we get to the mess that is the Eighth Doctor.
Yes.
He's with the Eighth Doctor. He's a mess. He died by falling off of a satellite dish. He also had Earthshock.
That was in Logopolis.
Logopolis.
Yeah.
Yes. No, wait. Earthshock was Fifth Doctor. That's right. He had Adric, Tegan, Nessa, I think.
Mm-hmm. And
wait a minute. Oh. I was trying to see if the companions were right under there, but yeah, he was very stilly. He had a very long scarf. He fought giant robots. He got his TARDIS back because the Third Doctor was in exile, so he got the TARDIS back. Well, he got it after the Three Doctors. And he also appeared in the Five Doctors as archive footage because Tom Baker was lazy.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, despite the fact that, what was I gonna say? He's the most iconic. He didn't actually come back for that special, so a lot of, his stuff is just archive footage, from the Five Doctors. Was there a reason he said, or was he just straight up lazy? I mean, could be possible, but, like, who knows?
And he comes back as the curator in Day of the Doctor.
Yeah. His Day of the Doctor appearance is, like, really cool. That one is, like, one of the best.
Like, you weren't expecting it, and then he pops out of nowhere and is like, we revisit some old faces, which,
that is really cool.
considering how we got 10 into 14.
Yeah. Meaning that, there's obviously the theory that the 14th Doctor does become the curator. and that's something that we could see maybe.
Or he could become he could become the Valiant.
No, bro, I was waiting how long until we get a reference to that guy, fam. When we get to him, his entry near the end. Oh my god, that's gonna be so.
Oh god,
Jesus
we're gonna be so annoying about
Christ.
that. I apologize in
Yes.
advance.
Because the Valiant became this huge inside joke that we've had. I even added him at the end of the last video in my outro, just because of that too.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit of a inside joke in our friend group.
Yeah.
He I'm trying to think of something else. He fought. I think he met the Ronnie first. Actually, I think he encountered the Ronnie first.
Okay. The Ronnie who everyone is the Ronnie according to the fans nowadays.
Everybody's the Ronnie.
Yeah. Just like how everyone
Everybody.
is the enemy who we're gonna have to cover at some point. God help us. The enemy knows.
Everybody is so master.
Yes.
Actually, okay, no. Ronnie was first introduced on the Sixth Doctor, so we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's not that far actually. Okay.
Yes, and Tom Baker has been. Yes, Tom Baker's. He's a guy. He sure is.
All right.
One hell of a guy. Oh yes. Also, the Watcher was involved in his regeneration. He was a future version of the Doctor that had no explanation. We still don't know why he was there, but he did become the Fifth Doctor once the Watcher walked into the Fourth Doctor while he was laying on the ground dying.
Yeah, this is like, and at the end, the explanation we get is that he was the Doctor all along. And at that point, it makes literally no sense. Like, if you want, someone did try and piece together the explanation. It's someone I know, Doctor Who fan 91. He made a pretty good video on who is the Watcher. I would recommend checking out that if you want like a detailed explanation on him, because like he gave a pretty good theory.
He also made a video on the Valeyard as well.
Yes, he did. But we'll come to him. But anyway,
we'll get to him later.
Here we can do. Oh wait, no, actually, we have some stuff here. We have
the Warrior Colin Baker, which yes, Doctor Who Unbound Dust Devil. That is where the Fourth Doctor gets Sarah Jane and Harry killed during their mission in Genesis of Dalek. So he touches the wires together because he's depressed, and then he has to regenerate into the Warrior. So he becomes Colin Baker, and Colin Baker as the War Doctor is something else,
Christ. Man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you guys, you thought John Hurt was the first, like, insane version of the Doctor. Like, in terms of having
Colin Baker was him a long time ago.
Colin Baker's entire story with Doctor Who is insane. Like, we'll come to him when we get to him. But,
Oh, Tom Baker also helped write Scratch Man, which the Doctor encounters the devil.
Of course. That's to be expected at this point. I can't say I'm surprised. Especially considering
the Doctor fights the devil.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Let's just see. Is there anything else here?
And as you can see, we're coming up on my favorite Doctor, number 7, after 5 and 6.
Yes. Let's see. Did we miss any other mini ones before we get to the 5th Doctor? I mean, I guess both these...
There's a connection way over on the right.
What is this? Oh. I mean, that's kind of low. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that when we get to the new Who Doctors?
We'll do that. I mean, we should do it now, I guess.
I mean, there's even more lower stuff that leads to this stuff, which is
Guardians of the Edge. Okay,
yes,
yeah, that's
as well as the
later.
Curator and like a whole lot of like all of this stuff, which is at the very, very bottom. Oh, spoilers, guys. Don't look away if you don't want spoilers.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. Let's just do the 5th Doctor then. We'll bring him up.
Yes, the 5th Doctor, played by Fuck. I
Peter
forgot.
Davison. Peter
Uh-oh.
Davison. Peter Davison.
Peter Davison, who is the father of David Tennant's wife. Forgot her name.
Georgia.
But she played. Yeah, her.
Yeah.
And she played
Jenny.
the Doctor's daughter, Jenny. and so therefore that woman cannot escape Doctor Who because she is the Doctor's daughter, married to the 10th Doctor, and also the daughter of the 5th Doctor.
Yeah.
He was the most 5th Doctor was the most human Doctor. He had a weird regeneration, so he kind of had to exist in the Zero Room for a little bit. And his first story was Castrovalva. Or, well, I guess technically it was Legopolis.
The one where he was like the main Doctor.
Yeah.
This is what we mean. Yeah.
Where he was the main Doctor. He fought. Ah, darn! I haven't really watched this era. I'll admit, like this is the one time
Same.
I'm kind
We're
of
not really that familiar with the 5th Doctor. I mean, to be fair, I know he fought the Mara, the like snake dude, who like.
Yes, the snake, the god of beasts.
Yeah, who we end up who's referenced in the Legend of Ruby Sunday as well. So, yeah.
Yes. He had mostly the same companions as the 4th Doctor. He was the most human
the
Doctor.
end of Adric through him, so yeah.
Yeah, until the boy that time forgot, which fuck that story. Fuck you, Big Finish.
Jesus. Like, sometimes we love Big Finish, sometimes we hate it. It's weird.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is something.
And, what else was I gonna say? Oh, he, reappears in, Tales of the TARDIS, like the newest series, where they go over some of the newest things. So he was in the first episode. Some of the adventures. Yeah, he was the first episode.
Yes, he was one of the... Yes, he was also in the 5 Doctors because, he was the 5th Doctor.
Yep.
And the past versions of the Doctor didn't really respect him all that much.
Despite the fact that he is technically the oldest and knows everything they've done, but whatever. Weird stuff. That's how it works on multi-Doctor stories. It doesn't make as much sense, but it's cool. So, yeah.
Yes. He was... It's also speculated that the 5th Doctor from the universe where the 4th Doctor did not save the universe was the Watcher.
Yeah, that is, and then that's why he merged with the 4th Doctor to then become the new version.
Because his timeline got aborted, basically. Yep. So he kind of had to go somewhere.
Yep. Alright. And now we've got all of this. This guy has a decent amount of stuff around him. So, talk about the Savant from Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
Don't know what I just said. It is featured with the 5th Doctor. I guess this is a short story, which is from the anthology, this anthology right here. And it was with the 5th Doctor and Turlough. So, yeah. I mean, it has a summary.
Turlough was the companion of the 5th Doctor that hated the Doctor because the Black Guardian manipulated him into trying to kill him. The 5th Doctor also regenerates in the story the Caves of Androzani. Yeah, something like that. And is widely regarded as one of the best regeneration stories ever made.
Okay. That's quite cool.
Yeah, he was the most human Doctor, and unfortunately, I haven't really watched him all that much.
Yeah, same here. He's the one I remember kind of least. Oh, I forgot to mention something with him. He appeared in a Time Crash, the multi-Doctor story with the 10th Doctor.
He doubled his number of regenerations.
Oh yeah, and he's technically acting with his son-in-law at that time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. This one is just explained here. Omega created a biosignature of the 5th Doctor, and it came with the personality of the 5th Doctor as well. But for you guys who don't know who Omega is, I mean, you could just explain him in general.
Well, Omega was one of the three founders of Gallifrey, along with Rassilon and the other, who is speculated to be Tecteun, the Doctor, Nyarlan
Yeah,
Thotep, and
yeah,
a million other
yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody is the Doctor, and everybody in the Doctor is
Jesus
everybody.
Christ.
He was an intergalactic engineer. He caused the Eye of Harmony, which means that the Time Lords can now time travel and actually be Time Lords.
Yep.
And it's speculated that Rassilon had him killed by his own assistant.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and he first appeared in The Three Doctors.
Yeah, and there's so much lore around him after that, where we cover, that he was one of the founders of Gallifrey. He is, of course, because of that, one of the most powerful Time Lords of them. Yeah, and he does not like
Because he's
Rassilon very
antimatter.
much. Yes, his antimatter
I
universe.
mean, I don't really like Rassilon that much either. He's a gigantic
Yeah,
xenophobe.
yeah, not many people like Rassilon in the end.
Ultra racism. That's Rassilon's thing.
Yeah, I think it was believed that, Omega gave the Time Lords time travel, the other gave them regeneration. Rassilon, he's there, I guess.
It's a leech.
He took the credit of the other ones.
Yes. And became a god king while everyone else was limited to 12 regenerations.
Yeah. Okay. Then
Lord of the Manor.
I do not know.
I think that was where the Fifth Doctor became evil or something.
Oh, that is an article. Yeah, the Lord of the Manor was a possible future incarnation of the Fifth Doctor created when he was splintered in time by an exploding hyperspatial warp core engine. The Lord, with Nyssa, who possibly became the Lady of the Manor, became trapped in a time bubble, stasis field, or time loop of the town of Stockbridge after Viridios awoke. They were subsequently imbued with Viridios' power and became his children. So, yeah, it's a alternate version. It was a possible future, and it was not the future that he ends up taking canonically. But it is, of course, one of them that he could have done. Let's go ahead and...
Yeah, and then that is a Big Finish thing. It's an audio I haven't listened to, but it's like basically these people release this thing called the Smoke that wants to eat like everything, I think, and the Fifth Doctor traps them in the TARDIS with him, and he eventually dies because he runs out of regenerations. So the Smoke dies.
Is it blind that the Smoke just kept feasting on him for the next couple regenerations? Jesus Christ, man. 12 full bodies just gone. Well, not like 12 in total, but like from the 5th to X. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of them at that time. We also have this very, very long tangent of the Doctor from the next 20 years. So
Yeah, it was like speculation of what Doctor Who would be over the next 20 years. And of course, it didn't come true because we didn't go through that many Doctors. In fact, the show was canceled after two more.
I mean, technically, due to the revival, they got it kind of maybe right.
Sort of.
Sort of. But obviously, there's a whole
Kinda.
bunch of incorrect stuff, yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different versions of the Doctor. You can go ahead and look at that. You can read this.
You got the Master and Dialects and...
Mechanoid. And obviously, we have Patrick Troughton. Patrick Troughton from...
Earth 33 and 1/3.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So. From the 6th. Okay. Well, okay, we have the Dimensional Web Solomon to the Stranger from BBV. Let's do that one, because that's the main.
That was like basically, oh, this might be the Doctor, or it might not be.
Oh, yeah. This was the thing that made a lot of Doctor Who spin-offs, and they made a whole bunch of stuff without, like, direct affiliation to the BBC. And, of course, they made a whole bunch of weird stuff, and I guess this whole thing with the Dimensional Web Solomon and the Stranger is part of that. And because he is a regeneration of the 5th Doctor, it's implied that he is the same as the 6th Doctor, which is from this still thing here.
Or, well, no, it is implied the 6th Doctor is the same thing as the Stranger, because I think Colin Baker did a lot of that. Yeah. Speaking of 6th Doctor, played by Colin Baker, introduces the Veil Yard.
Trial of a Time Lord.
He is not very liked.
Bro, his
He
first
wasn't really
story.
liked for a long time.
Jesus Christ. His first
In his first,
story, he like chokes his companion at some point. It's just like he was trying to. They tried
and
to
he
portray an.
yells,
Villain! Murderer!
I think
and
what they tried to
he
do was they tried to kind of do an arc where he started off as like a violent doctor, then he becomes a better guy, but they had to rush the whole arc because the show was gonna get cancelled because no one liked this guy. Um, it was so
It's
bad
not
that
because no one liked this guy. It's because the BBC just kind of fucked him over.
yeah, I mean because the BBC fucked him over, a lot of people didn't really like the Sixth Doctor in that way,
Yeah.
and because of
He
this,
met the Ronnie.
yes, he met the
He
Ronnie.
he just kind of existed. He got a really really good run in the audio zone, like a very
Yeah,
good run,
they redeemed
almost
him
as
quite
good
well.
as
They
Apes.
even gave him an official regeneration. Listen. If you were there back then, for the longest time, it was believed that he regenerated because he fell off the fucking exercise bike in the TARDIS. I'm not even joking. Because basically, for his regeneration, he was caught, but he refused to turn up because they literally just said, "Oh yeah, you're getting out the show," you know. So because of that, he refused to even turn up. So they had to put the next actor, Sylvester McCoy, in a wig and then make him fall off and regenerate like that. So everyone thought that
Well,
he fell off the
technically, it
bike.
was the Ronnie shooting like
Yeah,
radiation at the TARDIS.
but
But
people assumed
well,
that's
that's more explained in the final adventure, which features the Valeyard mostly. It's an anthology series. It's got Django and Lightfoot, Jago and Lightfoot, which is a fourth Doctor companions from the towns of Wen Chiang, who are literally like the companions that should have been. They are the definitive the companions that should have been. They got a
yeah.
series that went on until one of the actors died.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Jeez.
people loved Jago and Lightfoot, man. I can see why. The
Yeah.
two were great.
And obviously Colin Baker does a lot of stuff now. Obviously he's, redeemed himself with a lot of other performances
Yeah.
and he even appears
Yeah.
in a lot of future media as the Doctor and even like other projections of the Doctor. Even in Power of the
Yes.
Doctor, really going to the Guardians of the Edge, he is one of them as well. So yeah.
Yeah, he's and him and Sylvester McCoy for one of the like Red Nose Day productions. This bit was basically Sylvester McCoy going, "I was in The Hobbit, you know," and he's just been doing that with Colin ever since. He's like, and dude, it's the funniest thing because Sylvester McCoy is just funny.
Yeah. Sixth Doctor has a bunch of these little connections, so
Not really, not that many.
I'm just like checking to see if we missed anything. Okay, no. Alright. Bunner Doc, did we do that? No, I don't think we did.
I don't think so. Let's cover it.
Bunner Doctor.
Plus, it didn't matter if we did. We'll just do it again.
Oh. He looks
Oh yes. Okay, he was a alternative timeline. He was an unbound doctor. He was like a burner who basically erased people from time. He was kind of a douchebag. Instead of the Time Lords being non-interventionist, they were very interventionist. This doctor was non-interventionist. I believe he also got killed by getting shoved into one of the alternate timelines.
uh interesting. For sure. And I guess the idea was to explore a doctor who had been placed on trial by his people, like in the war games, but with different results. So without obviously the value out there in case they did die instead. But it's straight up, the
and
burner doctor.
also and also very different values.
Yeah.
Not, oh, we're all high and mighty. We cannot interfere.
Yeah. So we got the
And
doctor
then the
from
doctor from the Dalek Factor
yes, here we
novella.
are. Here we are. An incarnation of the Doctor was trapped on a Dalek occupied planet. So okay. The Doctor thus traveled across the planet to find the Dalek Emperor. Really, the whole planet was a Dalek research facility for turning Thals into Daleks after the Dalek factor had passed down enough generations. Alright. This is a novel, apparently, of an alternate universe where the Doctor was trapped on the planet occupied by the Daleks and lost his memory.
Because the Dalek Emperor would erase the memory after the Doctor brought him calls.
Cool. Okay. And what's else there? Seventh Doctor from the Lenny Henry show.
Lenny. Who the fuck?
I don't know. What is this? Okay, well, obviously he played a spoof version of Doctor, so can I find... Here it is. It's called Untitled. Amazing. Wait a minute. Okay. So an unnamed sketch aired on the British comedy film series The Lenny Henry Show, featuring Lenny Henry portraying the seventh incarnation of the Doctor. This is not the seventh Doctor. But, you know, fair enough. And I guess this was a little joke thing that they made, for the Seventh Doctor. Well, his version of the Seventh Doctor, and I guess this is a real thing. If you want to watch this, go ahead. Technically speaking, is this the first Black Doctor?
This is, technically speaking,
That is the first Black Doctor. Then it came before Ncuti Gatwa, came also before, who was
Fugitive Doctor?
Whoever played it, I forgot. Joe Grant. Was it Joe Grant? I forgot.
Oh, Grant, yes.
Yes. And even before Dr. Moon, who we'll get to a bit later. But he was an implied version. So I guess we got Lenny Henry as the first Black Doctor, guys. Who knew that Lenny Henry would have played the first Black Doctor? I was not expecting that. I can't lie. Okay. Now. It is your time to shine, my friend.
Finally, my favorite Doctor, the Seventh Doctor, played by Sylvester McCoy. First starring in Time and the Ronnie, where the Ronnie is trying to take over time by kidnapping geniuses from all over history, including the Doctor, to power a giant brain to take over time. He fought Life, Ghost. It was called Ghostlight. It was a very confusing story and sort of part of the Cartmel master plan, which was to reintroduce mystery into Doctor Who. He was a manipulator, a liar, a schemer. He was all over the time. He was also probably the closest thing to the other we ever saw on television. He fought the Master, who was becoming a cheetah person. He he dealt with the curse of Fenric, where it was revealed that the Doctor had carved a chess set from bone and locked this ancient evil being back into the dark dimension. And this is further explored in the audio stories Protect and Survive, Black and White, I think, and also Gods and Monsters, where it's sort of revealed that the Seventh Doctor has not been the player of the game. He has been a sideshow. He is not the guy. He is not him, but he thinks he's him. And it's sort of shown what happens when the Seventh Doctor goes full crazy in the audio story, The Last Day, in The Last Day Part 2, which, old doozy. He also fought the Daleks in remembrance of the Daleks. I was about to say Revengeance. This is not Metal Gear. Where he goes, unlimited rice pudding!
Unlimited rice pudding!
Unlimited power! Unlimited rice pudding!
Nah, bro, forget Palpatine and unlimited power. We got unlimited rice pudding, fam. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Don't forget Ace.
Forget Ace. Oh, yes, Ace. That was his main companion. And also, Fenric brought her to him as part of a plot to trap the Seventh Doctor, but it didn't work because Fenric doesn't know who he's messing with. The Doctor fought Lady Painfort in the Silver Nemesis, where he fought neo-Nazis, the Cybermen, and Lady Painfort, a literal witch, who revealed that, hey, the Doctor is not exactly who you think he is. All to get a Time Lord weapon called the Silver Nemesis. The Seventh Doctor dealt with a lot of that stuff, actually. Sylvester McCoy is he also started in the TV movie as regenerating into Eighth Doctor. He had
Where
and he
gets
has like a
shot
huge range of
by a gangster,
Yeah.
an American gangster. The first time he goes to
Yes,
America.
yeah. He had what else? What else?
He fought Death's Head, the
He,
Transformers villain.
oh my god, yeah, that's right, he did. He also in the audios he's fought elder gods. He fought he had a really scary speech at the end of Afterlife, which was just
Yeah.
holy shit.
If I don't get copyrighted, I'll
Um,
try to put that in.
yeah. He he's done a lot of stuff, especially in the audios. The Carbon Master Plan was I already explained that. A lot of that didn't happen because the show got canceled after Survival, but several of those got turned into audio stories like Earth Aid, Night Thoughts. That might not have the title of the Lost Stories, but it is definitely part of the Carbon Master Plan that's been revealed. Uh, Crime of the Century. Like there's a lot of like Cardinal Master Plan stuff that got put into Big Finish. Seventh Doctor also was the main character of the original New Adventure novels, where he fought Time Worm, the Nazis. He
Yeah.
re-encountered the Warlord
Hmm.
from the War Games, who was all burnt and disheveled. He
He's also the main doctor in Long Barrow.
Yes, he was the main doctor in Long Barrow, the most confusing story ever, where basically the doctor goes home.
Yes.
He goes the fuck home.
We
And
covered
he
what
kills
Long
his
Barrow
house.
was in the last episode, like a little bit. So
Yes.
yeah. Um.
So basically, the doctor, and he also met his wife. He worked with the Fifth Doctor in the novels. He manipulated Ace a lot, which there was a lot of naked Ace in the Virgin New Adventure novels.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Um, he fought vampires. He dealt with like psychic evils. He dealt with time altering beings. He did a lot of stuff in the Virgin New
Yes.
Adventure novels, and then he Long Barrel leads directly into the TV movie where he regenerates after being shot. Actually, no, it's because they had to operate on him that he dies.
Okay, so the reason he does because of American healthcare.
No, like they like due to
Regenerate
him
was
having
because
the
yes.
dual hearts, they kind of like what the fuck,
Yeah.
and they killed
It is
him
pretty funny though.
because
Fair
of
enough.
yeah,
Yes.
and he has a terrifying regeneration scene.
Yeah, that is something in the TV movie.
Anyways, I'm done. I'm done rambling about my.
Yes, if you guys couldn't tell, the Seventh Doctor is
Oh,
Valid's favorite Doctor. Oh.
oh wait, I forgot. Also, he also met the bald master.
Yes, who I'm going to be
Finish
seeing
audio.
on September 14th when I go to see
Uh,
the audio story live, because he's going to be there as well as the Eighth
Stuff of
Doctor.
Legend.
Yeah, Stuff of Legends.
Yeah. Uh, Also, the Seventh Doctor had a companion called Elizabeth Klein, who was from an alternate universe where the Doctor, which actually leads from Colditz, which is a audio story, where Ace gets shot.
Okay.
Ace gets murdered. The Nazis steal her boombox, and they win World War II because of the laser guided technology
Jesus.
in it. And Elizabeth Klein steals the Doctor's TARDIS, travels back in time, makes sure that happens. Sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then the Seventh Doctor engineers the death of her timeline.
Jesus Christ.
Yes,
Yeah.
he regenerates in the Eighth Doctor, who presents himself as Johannes Schmidt. And he manipulates Ethan Klein into doing stuff, or Elizabeth Klein, not Ethan Klein. That's H3H3 Productions. He's a very scary man, very very scary person. The Seventh Doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is the Seventh Doctor. We covered literally like so much stuff in that. So let's just see. Oh Lord, he has a lot. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
John Smith. That's basically the Doctor's alter ego. He was Doctor John Smith as the third Doctor, and sort of it's like his unit persona.
wasn't this based, like the story that he becomes is called Human Nature, wasn't it? Which is based off, I mean, sorry, which ended up inspiring the,
Oh yes,
uh,
Human Nature, where he hides as a human from vampires, and he teaches at school. And he's yes, this one, Virgin New Adventures.
this inspired, the Family of Blood two-parter from New Who, which 10th Doctor does,
Yes,
which is quite cool. So if you guys want to know where that story came from, then yeah, I assume people already thought that what the Doctor did at the end of Family of Blood was like insane, but like comparing it to some of the stuff the Seventh Doctor has done, you get a
like
lot.
the sub seven Doctor has done like casually, like
Yeah,
not even caring.
yeah, like that's all I'm saying. But yeah, it was based off this story, which is quite cool. But yeah, he took the identity of John
And of
Smith on
course,
purpose.
they don't have the plot on the wiki.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit similar to Human Nature, the episode. A little like there's obviously differences, but like yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Click on the 2000. Wait, go back. 2002 cover. I haven't seen that one. That's new.
That one looks really cool.
Yeah, I like that one a lot more than the original. Or well, I don't know. The original is pretty good. I like that one.
This one's alright.
Even the 2015 one's
It's just the same picture that you have in your profile picture. I just realized of the Seventh
It's
Doctor.
literally the same picture.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, Full Fathom
That's
5, yes. Okay, so that was an Unbound audio story where it was kind of suggesting that this was the Doctor, the Seventh Doctor, where he's like, the ends justify the means, and then he gets shot in the face.
that's so random, but okay.
No,
What?
he gets shot by this one person who's like parent he killed until he
Okay.
runs out of regenerations.
Jesus
Johann Schmidt, I
Christ.
already explained that one where it's like Elizabeth Klein.
Yep.
George
Um.
Formby, don't know. Oh, the Dominie slash the Professor, that's BBV, where it's like, oh, this is totally not the Doctor, even though it's
Okay.
Ace and also the Doctor, where he was actually called the Professor instead of, you know.
George Formby Doctor is the one I'm talking about. Oh, Merlin. Oh my God, Merlin. Yeah. Still, the Seventh Doctor learned that a future version of Doctor went by the name George Formby. That's literally all it says. It's just a future version
Amazing.
of himself. It could have been anyone, bro. It could have been who knows, fam. Use this for sure. Why not?
It's Wigawa.
No way, bro. We got the 15th Doctor. His real name, George Formby.
George Foreman's the Doctor.
Ay, ay,
Ewan
ay.
McGregor as the Doctor.
Oh God, what is going on over here? What the hell is going on over here? Oh
That's
my
different.
lord. Oh
That's
my.
Eighth Doctor stuff. We'll get into that later.
Okay, this is also connected to 8th Doctor, so I mean, this is connected to
He's
7th
gonna
Doctor.
have his own episode.
Richard
Eighth Doctor
Griffiths.
is way too complicated to get into right now.
Yes. Richard Griffiths. Do you know this?
No, I don't think so.
Uh, 80 Doctor, apparently. Okay, here it is. 8th Doctor from What If.
That one.
Damn, he looks interesting. This is if the Seventh
He
Doctor
sure is a guy.
regenerated on the asteroid Alex after going mad while bound and gagged in a straitjacket. Sure.
Which actually sort of happens in one of the audio stories with some Doctor called Unregenerate.
I guess they did a whole what if at one point, yeah. So it's a piece of yeah. Marvel used to do this a long time ago as well. Everyone is dying like, oh, what if X, what if Y? They made all these alternate universes, so there's so many versions based off that. This was during the time that Marvel did publish Doctor as well, so they made a whole bunch of stuff in Doctor Who magazine. Because in Doctor Who magazine, like these issues, that was when Marvel had a say in what they could do back then.
Yes.
So that is this. Okay. That is the Dominie. This is another BB. This is another.
Yeah, I already talked about that.
All right.
Yeah, I already talked about that.
Alright, this connects to Don Puck. So the the foot doctor. What?
I don't have that.
Oh my lord.
I don't know.
Blood letters. The blood letters. The blood letters. And is that the version of? Oh, this is a whole summary. One of the only things to have a bloody plot, fam. This is a whole plot on it. Jesus Christ.
Holy moly!
Which is that?
The monk, the mad monk from the.
Oh yeah.
The monk, the meddling
no,
monk.
There's a different version of the monk.
Oh.
Sure.
Go back. Wait, go back up.
just check out the summary, I guess. This is apparently it's not actually a Doctor Who, it's like basically just has a bunch of Doctor Who elements which were licensed from them, which these characters, but it was not officially a Doctor Who thing. And that cover art is very interesting. So, you can read that in your own time. Sure is
the cover art of all time.
You can read that in your own time if you want. Is that every single 7th Doctor train? Oh, the Virgin 8th Doctor from David Troughton. And we also have some of this.
Get to that link, I guess. Get that link.
Sure.
Oh, well, I guess the Paul Cornell.
I guess he must have written a bunch of stuff at the time. Maybe. I don't know if that's the right article. I'm just going to search this up just in case. Well, when I get this, it was at David Troughton. And apparently there's a whole Reddit post. But so, what did David Troughton actually do at this time? Okay. So is there something about his 8th Doctor? Well, obviously a bunch of New Adventures, but...
Yeah, he would have...
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So... That was planned as the 8th Doctor during the Virgin New Adventures, but then Paul McGann came along. So we got the Dying Days.
Yeah. I remember though, because we talked about the script in the last episode. We also talked about Leakley Bible, where they were gonna retcon the Master into being the Doctor's brother, and the new series ends up making fun of that because they end up saying when Martha asks the Doctor, "I thought he was your secret brother," in reference to the Master, the Doctor is like, "You've been watching too much TV," as a joke towards that statement. So, yeah, that's what that's supposed to be.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that Master isn't the Doctor's brother because they act really, really gay.
Bro, do you remember what Missy did? I mean, obviously she was in a woman form, but come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we will save 8th Doctor for next time.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Honestly, it's weird because we took so much time trying to just get to the 1st Doctor, then we flew through up until the 7th Doctor, and now we're probably gonna go through hell, trying to do this. So, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Wish us luck for the next episode, and I hope
you
did enjoy. Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, Doctor Who's from My Little Pony. Oh my God. We're gonna have to cover that. It's him! He's here!